I walked into a pharmacy wearing scrubs, so Karen appointed me as head doctor, by user defunct Ma5. So little old groggy me, medical intern, is finally leaving the hospital after a 36-hour-long shift, the second of the week. It is a Friday and I am really looking forward for everything to go dark as soon as my head hits a pillow, but first, I need to go to a pharmacy. In my country, some pharmacies have a small lab adjacent where COVID tests can be taken, and a few lab technicians, chemists, and general practitioners may be found to do certain procedures, run certain tests and make common diagnoses. Here is the thing, they are all wearing the full one-piece white, hooded suits and protective gear you all have seen so much. I am wearing surgical scrubs. So in enters a very sleep-deprived little old me to the pharmacy, who immediately goes on to examine the toothpastes and brushes. After a little while, I hear a throat being cleared, so I say oh, my bad, and scoop over closer to the shelves to let the person walk by. Wrong answer. The person replies no, I need you to take a look at me, the line to the appointments area is too long. Confused, I turn and see an all too familiar look, a curly, bleached, shoulder-length haircut, blue eyelid makeup that looks more like two slapped-in post-it notes than anything else, eye-searing lipstick and pink, glistening claws to go along with a predatory cat-patterned top. Oh, I don't work here, I reply, knowing it won't do. I work in a hospital, I say, hoping it is enough justification for Karen to understand why I'm dressed the way I am. She of course dismisses my claim and says I must work here, as I am uniformed and stacking shelves. Yikes, the Karen's logic. I simply reply no, but I'm sure an employee will be happy to help you. Karen replies with, you are a health worker, why don't you help me? As an intern, I don't even have my degree yet, I can't and shouldn't do much, even if I wanted to, and I simply reply I'm not on duty, and I don't. She interrupts, hey, snaps her fingers, hey, snaps her fingers, I paid for my ticket just like everyone else, you will see me. Me, again, I don't work here, and I have no obligation to do random consults on the wild whenever you please, lady. A floor tile nearly broke upon the gaping of her jaws. At this point, she is pissed. As if summoned by her indignation, a manager walks over and asks if all is well. Karen seizes her opportunity to talk faster than you can blink. No, this employee is very rude. I want him fired. Manager, ma'am, he does not work here, our employees where? Karen, he works here. Stop trying to cover for him, you need to fire him now, his behavior is unacceptable, he refuses to help me. Manager, ma'am, I am going to have to ask you to stop harassing customers or leave. Karen, now enraged, letting out a hybrid between a roar and a sigh. Oh, I can't believe the audacity of you people to treat customers here, this is outrageous. She slaps the products off the closest shelf, sending items flying onto the manager and me, an accusatory, pink-clawed index finger flying erratically. I will not give you, sphincter, holes any business, and I hope this putrid little pharmacy goes under. She storms off in a huffing and puffing. I hurry off to pay and leave before she looks at the appointment ticket still clutched in her other hand, and realizes she paid for something she has not used and decides to return, demanding a refund, or worse, attention. I exit the pharmacy and movement catches my eye. I turn and I see Karen inside her SUV, foaming from the mouth, clutching her steering wheel and violently pushing and pulling herself. Then she sees me. The horror, I walk faster, trying not to look at her. She lowers a window and starts screaming some more at me. I ignore her and hurry to my escape pod on wheels. Escape successful. Ma'am, back TF off, by user Tokyo Diamond. Hello everyone. It's been a little while since I post. Letting everyone know, I've recently gotten married. We both work third shift. Working from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Monday through Friday, and off on Saturday and Sunday. I was so grateful we both have the same shift. I work as a caregiver again, and my husband works for a company called Glovis. It's along with Hyundai. Usually I will drive us to my client's home, and he'll take the car to his job. Then he'll come pick me up and I'll drive us home. This particular Saturday morning, hubby and I needed to go to Wally World. And we decided to go before we head home, and I'm sure a lot of people have been like that. Rather go on to the store before going home, because once your head hit that pillow, you dare somebody to call your name. So we needed to get a few groceries, and need some things for our living room. Now I will say, hubby's uniform is very similar to the uniform of Wally World. Navy blue shirt, khaki or black pants, neon yellow vest. Only difference, his navy blue shirt actually has the word Glovis on the front of it, and I'm not sure about them wearing steel-toed boats. So we've been inside Wally World for a good 10 minutes. Being funny with each other and going through our list. I forget we passed an aisle that had an item on the list, and I tell hubby to go on with the cart and I'll be right back. Now something about me, I usually go down the aisle 2 or 3 times if I can't find that specific item. So I went down that aisle about 3 times, slowly to make sure I didn't skip over it. Suddenly, I hear a long husky screech. I didn't think anything of it, and kept looking for the item. Until I feel my phone vibrate. A text from my husband saying to get over there quickly. Okay, now I'm worried. I forget the item and go looking for my husband. I find him several aisles down, with a woman all in his face. One thing I will say about my husband, when it comes to women in his face, he lets me handle them. And I let him handle men in my face. So I'm walking over to him and hear her saying, "Just help me already. It's your job after all. Don't make me call for a manager and get you fired." He's constantly trying to tell her he doesn't work there, trying to unzip his vest to show the word Glovis. She's not having it. She gets louder. My hubby has PTSD and doesn't do too well with people yelling at him. A whole other story. So I stepped in. "Excuse me, ma'am. Can I help you? What's the problem here?" She rants on and on about how he, a Walmart employee, won't help her, and she needs help, but he ignored her and it's very unprofessional. Then she took one look at me and my uniform, scrubs, and said, "What am I telling you for? You don't work here. Find me a manager." I look at her and say, "What Walmart employee are you implying to? Because I don't see one here." Her attitude got so big, I thought it was gonna blow that whole building. Saying none of us will help her. She asked him for help in the store, and asked me to get her a manager. First off, ya old nanny goat, you didn't ask me to do anything. You told me to get you a manager like I was your child. No ma'am, that's not how this work. While I was trying to tell her that my husband doesn't work there, she has the nerve to tell me these exact words. If you was to stop living off us taxpayers and taking welfare, you would be able to do what you're told when asked. And don't take up for him just because he's handsome. He's not going to be your next baby daddy. Oh hell nah, see bitch, I tried to be polite with yo ass, but you just crossed the fucking line. How you gon' go from talking about me being on welfare, to calling my husband handsome and saying he won't be my next baby daddy? Nope, it's time for me to lay into her ass. Listen here, you long neck, ashy ankle, neck bone eating, pig feet slurping, head looking like Stewie Griffin looking bitch. First of all, this handsome man is my husband. Notice the rings on our hands. Second of all, we both was trying to tell yo no further than 2nd grade education ass that he doesn't work for Walmart, his shirt clearly says Glovis. Third, where in the entire fuck do you get off assuming I'm on welfare and you don't know shit about me? Bitch, get yo block knocked off in this store if you want to. You can run into this brick wall if you want to and commit suicide. In my Hattie Mae voice. Now she's standing there crying. Ask me, did I give a damn? And I surely did not. So finally an employee came up and asked what happened. You know how these Karens are, they tell what they want instead of the whole story. She told him that she asked my husband for help and I threatened her not to talk to him. I didn't even have to say a word, multiple witnesses came up and defended me and my hubby. And just like that, the waterworks stopped because she noticed she didn't have the audience she was looking for. I told the man that I'm sorry for going off the way I did, but what she's not about to do is disrespect my husband or me. Especially since she doesn't know either of us. We just want to finish our shopping and go home. We're tired and just got off work. He let us go and he keeps her there. You start hearing more yelling, but it's fading as we walk away. I look at my husband and he's just smiling. Talking about the way I handled her turned him on. Now I'm standing there blushing hard and laughing. Mind you, he didn't say a word while I was handling her. He did hold me back from wanting to knock her ass smooth out. Gotta love that man. Security. She's a theft, by user Georgie Jamix. This happened few days back where I was on my off day, and since I got my cash incentives for Chinese New Year from my company, I decided to get some shirts from Uniqlo as they have the line series clothing and I had gotten 2 from a store nearby. As there is another outlet few stops away, I sort of went there to see if there is any other designs that I can get my hands on. Plus I was wearing their Peanuts shirt that I brought a year ago. So I walked in with this Uniqlo paper bag and Karen started to ask, "Are you trying to steal things with uniform?" I ignored and she follows me all around. Before I exit, she scream at me to stops me and telling the mall security that I have stolen the shirts with the barriers not beeping. Screams at me telling me I am not professional as a staff of Uniqlo and not cool to steal those shirts while on shift. I laughed and thankfully I did keep my receipt cause I knew this might happens. I showed the receipt to the staffs of Uniqlo and security but Karen keep insisted I stolen the clothes while working there. Of cause I was released knowingly I am just shopping but Karen starts to scream at security for being incompetence while I walk off. I am the manager, on a different company though by user J2_ABS. As an avid reader and listener, podcast on Spotify, of this subreddit, I never knew that this would happen to me as our country's culture, a tropical country in Southeast Asia, tends to lean on the conservative and hospitality side. First, a brief background about my occupation. Me, 30M, and my dad owns a small engineering business which specializes on repairs/fabrication/supply of mechanical, electrical, and metalworks alike. Most of our clients are food manufacturing plants within the province. Anyway, it's a typical Thursday morning when a client called me to pick up a machine for repairs. When I arrived at the plant, I was asked by the security to wait outside the loading bay as they page the engineer that is assigned with the said machine. While waiting for the supervisor, I heard a loud hey from a guy, in his late 50s to early 60s maybe, who was also at the loading bay. I paid no attention to him as I knew he was a contractor/supplier just like me and thought that he was just shouting at the guys working there. He gets my attention by shouting "Hey kid." So I approached him and asked what's your problem. He was somehow startled by my disinterested tone and asked me that why I wasn't doing my job. I told him I don't work here. I was way he shouted "Kid, aren't you ashamed that you're just standing right there while your CO workers are unloading these boxes?" Again, I reiterated that I don't work here. Well, to be fair, I think he mistook me as one of the workers, as contractual employees there doesn't have uniforms and only direct hire/regular employees do. I, for one, was wearing loose old shirt with faded prints and baggy pants. 100% I'll get in trouble with the fashion police, since it's very comfy and being on a tropical country, the climate tends to get warm and humid even in February. Sweaty back, armpits, and groin sucks lol. Going back, he blabbered about how rude kids are nowadays and downright disrespectful to the older generation by talking back and stuff. Yeah, typical Asian culture. I didn't pay attention to him anymore while he's on full steam talking about his boomer supremacy lecture as I want to avoid any conflict within the client's premises. After his boomer TED talk, said the magic word that gave me an idea on how to shut him down for good. I will report you to your manager for disrespecting an essential supplier and not doing your job when you're told to. Since the pandemic is still lingering and face masks is a must, it sucks that he didn't see the evil grin on my face while walking towards him. I calmly got my wallet and didn't say anything. He looked at me confused as hell. I handed him my business card and told him that I am the manager. Also, I'm not a kid anymore. I'm 30 and have my own business. I nodded and told him to have a nice day with the sweetest sarcastic voice. His face turned red and didn't say a thing. I heard some giggling and whispers between the employees that were unloading the boxes. I went back to where I was originally standing and waited for the client's engineer in peace. TLDR, I have my own business and tending to a client. A boomer mistook me as one of the client's employees. I got interrupted by his boomer TED talk while telling him that I don't work there and had an earful. I handed him my business card and shut him down. I'm not an employee or a therapist, by user Campanella82. One day, while back in college I had just left a school magazine photo shoot where we had to wear all black, so I was wearing black pants, shirt, and shoes. I stopped at a Family Dollar on the way home. I was wandering the aisles trying to look for candles. While walking I kept seeing this woman in heels with a very vexed vibe about her. She was walking quickly and had a prominent scowl. Her heels clicked loudly all throughout the store. I eventually found the candles and was taking my sweet time smelling each one to decide what I wanted. The lady I saw before stomped into the aisle and I looked up at her for a second. I do not like talking to random strangers, especially seemingly angry ones, so I didn't say anything and continued smelling candles. But after a minute or so of her sighing and making disgruntled noises, she says, "I'm having such a shit day." I sheepishly say, "Oh, that sucks." She then says, "My boyfriend and I just bought a house together and I found out he's cheating. I found him with the bitch this morning." Ugh, I was dumb to make such a big decision with a snake. Imma throw all his stuff out, etc. I replied, damn, I'm sorry that happened to you. Feeling awkward and thinking the conversation had ended after some silence, I try to shimmy out of the aisle. She then says, this place has coupons, right? Confused I say, I don't know. She then angrily says, shouldn't you know? I mean, I saw it in the store's newspaper. Genuinely confused I say, I don't know anything about that. She then starts again complaining about how she doesn't understand why I can't just help her. I tell her again more sternly I don't know what she's talking about. And she scoffs and walks off. It dawns on me after she walked away that she probably thought I worked there. But the thing is, I was in all black while the employee uniform at the time was a red t-shirt with the Family Dollar logo. Also, there's always an employee at the cash register at the entrance of this store that greets every customer that walks in. She would have seen what the employees wore when she walked in, or at least when she was stomping around the store. Sorry her boyfriend cheated, but she shouldn't take it out on me.